What's going on, guys? It's Tony, Urban Girl Scout Media, living the dream as always, and coming to you today doing an Off the Rails on June 21st, 2020. What a year it has been. Just really enjoyed doing the last one 2 weeks ago like this, so I figured I'd do another one. Just kind of have a couple topics to talk about, and might be doing this every other Sunday, who knows? So let's get right to it. But before we get to it, guys, I need a favor from all my scouts, from all my listeners, from all my viewers. If you guys like the content you're hearing, or if you don't like it, subscribe, like, comment, share, smash those buttons for me, guys. It takes little to no effort on your part, but it changes a lot of things for me and my channel's growth, and all of it towards the positive. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's do it. First, it's Father's Day. Special shout out to the dads out there. I've always been a believer that it is easier to be a shitty dad than it is to be a shitty mom. I think moms have a lot harder challenges strapped to them from day one of having a child, but I also think that dads, there are dads out there that do a really good job and don't get the credit they deserve. So shout out to them. Shout out to the ones that actually fucking try and stick around. And, you don't have to be married to your partner to be a good dad. You know, if you're separated, you can still be a good father. So just a shout out to those guys, because fucking heroes, man. Fucking heroes. I guess the next thing to talk about is, this pandemic. I don't really know, where everyone is in their part of the world in terms of what's going on, but, here in the middle of America, we're, what's this going on out here now? Sorry, guys, there's someone across the way. See what they're doing. So here in, the heartland of America, depending upon, where you live, you're either in really good standing, like the great state of Illinois, or, some of our neighbors around us who aren't doing as hot. And, I'm gonna be honest. We're probably gonna get a second wave here, guys. Go check out what's going on overseas. China has some fun stuff. It's coming. Like, we're gonna do it. And I'm just gonna rant for a second here. Wear a fucking mask. The mask, like, when I hear people say, oh, I'm not gonna wear a mask, it's not gonna help me, you're so fucking selfish. And, like, there's a difference between people who their opinion is, I don't want to wear a mask, and they still do it, versus the people who I don't want to wear a mask, and they purposely don't do it, for selfish reasons. There's a huge difference. You guys know who you are, so don't guilty conscience reach out or put me on blast, because I'm not putting anyone specific, I'm just putting the types of people that fall into those groups on blast. I think it's pretty toxic that so many people who are opposed to wearing a mask call the people who do wear masks snowflakes or bitches or softies, things like that. Like, man, you guys are some real schmucks if you're going to insult another person for trying to do what's good for society. And you're likely the same people. Again, focus on those who don't wear masks and argue about it and insult the other side who do. You're likely the same people who probably bitch about wearing condoms. So, just take that for what you want. Go fuck yourselves. Just put on the fucking mask. I mean, it's not hard. And what kills me about this is that you don't have to go to the fucking gas station and buy these cheap ones. You can go buy one with a fucking design on it. Like, I've got one with a poker design. I got one with dinosaurs. Fucking dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. And then, this girl I work with was selling some that she made, and, it's got Marvel characters. So I'm like, I don't wear those generic-ass ones around. I wear nice ones that have designs that are an expression of things I love or I enjoy. Fucking crazy, man. Like, I swear to God, like, people we look for ways to isolate ourselves from what's smart and separate ourselves from what's smart. And like we're already getting isolated now. Why are we fighting with scientists? I don't get that. And I can't even watch the fucking videos anymore of when you see like the manager at a grocery store telling a customer like, you cannot be in here without a mask. That's what the fucking sign says. You are not special. And that customer thinks that their rights are being infringed upon. Fuck you. You goddamn ass clowns. Like, get the fuck out of here. So, it's not like, and I wear glasses, guys, so them fuckers are steaming up, fogging up constantly. It doesn't matter what I do. If I'm talking, like, the mask is coming down, like, there are inconveniences, but shit, I'm trying to help society get past this shit. And if you're not, just go fuck yourself. And you can say that you don't like wearing a mask, but still respectfully do it and not be a schmuck. So, and for anyone that gets confused, just shut the fuck up. It's not that hard to figure out. Listen to what I'm actually saying, and you'll get it. That brings me to really the other topic that was on my mind today, and that is some sports. I haven't gotten to talk about sports in quite some time. I'm going to talk about two sports that are very low on my totem pole for different reasons. I guess very high because the lower you are on the totem pole, in theory, you're actually more important. But we've twisted that saying around so much over the years that people will think I'm crazy. Go look it up. Anyways, very low on my list of things I care about. First is baseball, which just a year or two ago was a top 3 or 4 sport for me in terms of what I love to watch. But this whole off season has just been one fucking mess after another. You look at the goddamn Houston Astros, who, them cheating sons of bitches. I was excited for baseball this year because I wanted to see them get wildly beaten up on. I wanted to see everybody go at them and watch the Astros try to justify it. We don't get that because of this pandemic, but now we've got this labor dispute over money and games played between the players and the owners. Pay attention to the fact that these assholes are not talking about safety of the pandemic. They're talking about money. While there's 40 million people without jobs? So yeah, that's a great image, baseball. You could own the fucking sports world right now if you were playing games. And it would be very beneficial to everybody to have that distraction. Because coming out of this, you guys can't argue with me. Sports is so important to society, it's not even funny. Like, before the George Floyd incident and this much needed cultural shift that we're going through, when we just had the pandemic as our major issue, not having sports made it very tough on a lot of people. Just saying. So I mentioned the George Floyd issue, and that's where I'm going next in my sports talk. I want you guys to hear it. I'm going to say very carefully because it's a true statement. Of all the sports leagues that handled the pandemic and the George Floyd rioting, protesting, and social changes that are going on, of all the sports leagues that handled it the best, it was NASCAR. This is a league that I consider very lowbrow. Their fans are some of their fans, not all of them, but some of their fans are lowbrow. And go look at what they're talking about with the Confederate flag being banned. Some of their fans are showing their true colors. That they're just bigots. But NASCAR figured out how to come back during COVID. They figured out how to stop and start during COVID and be successful. And then they banned the Confederate flag as part of the social and cultural changes we're going through. And they did it with one African-American driver. I believe they have one African-American driver. So they didn't have to do that. They did not have to do that at all. And instead of putzing around, trying to let their drivers decide what they want to do, or trying to let everybody have their own voice, they came out and said, you know what? Fuck this, we're done. We're not fucking around with this. Credit to NASCAR, man. That takes some balls. because they got some blowback. That Ray Sorelli, which if you say his name fast, Racist Relly, he quit because he couldn't deal with not being a racist, and he couldn't get his participation points anymore. But I don't know, like that really stands out to me during this, that NASCAR recognized the bigger picture during both COVID and social change better and quicker than any other sport league. And again, I consider NASCAR kind of a lowbrow sport league to begin with. So their fans are one thing, but you can't blame a league for its fans. So, you can't necessarily blame the fans in the league on one another. There is some independent ownership there, and to this point, NASCAR's done great. So yeah, that's it, guys. I mean, I just had a few things here, nothing too terribly long. Shout out to the dads. Wear your fucking masks. Major League Baseball is just a shit show. And then NASCAR, congratulations. Like, you're showing... NASCAR's leading the way. Sports leagues. Stop talking about all these things you want to do and do it. Every other league is trying to talk about what they want to do way too much, both in terms of COVID and social change. NASCAR got it together. Good for them. Guys, I'm going to say it one more time. Like, subscribe, share. Do the deeds that you need to do to make this page bigger for me and you. Oh, I just came up with that on the spot. Thank you guys so much. This is Tony K, Urban Girl Scout Media, living the dream off the rails. June 21st!